Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and I'm here to talk about time management. What I've discovered when it comes to time management, there's really two components. One is planning time or schedule, and the second one is adhering to it. They're really kind of two different exercises. Many of those with ADHD can schedule time, but they struggle to adhere to it. Other times, people can adhere to it on a more of a let's say, improv type basis. Well, today I'm here to talk about three issues that can really inhibit your ability to plan time and to manage time. The first one is creativity and problem solving. When you're trying to use creativity and you want to come up with a clever solution, sometimes it's not something that you can plan. It's not like I'm going to give birth to a great idea tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll give you an example. I had a 2003 Sequoia with 190,000 miles on it. It was a 2003, right now it's 2017, so it was an old vehicle. The leather in the front seats had cracked to the point in time where I was getting in, it was tearing my dress pants. That was a problem. I needed to keep the car for a period of time because my younger son was going to be able to drive, and I would no longer need a car of that size to run carpool. Note that I did need 7 seat belts in order to run carpool, which it had 8. So as I went out to do some research to solve my problem, I could get new seats reupholstered for $900, or at the local auto shop I could get some seat covers that were about $30. None of the seat covers worked. I tried multiple times, and $900 was not a solution I was willing to pay for a car that had 190,000 miles to which I was going to sell. So I had a dilemma. What was I going to do? It took some time, but in an interaction with a friend who said, wouldn't it be great if you could get some Sequoia car seats at a garage sale, all of a sudden I had an aha. What about a junkyard? In Tampa, I actually went on Google, searched for junkyard, and believe it or not only are there junkyards in Tampa, but you can put in a 2003 Sequoia with 10 seats, and believe it or not, the seats are $125. My point really is that needing that creativity to problem solve and come up with something took a lot longer than one would expect, and not something I could have predicted. So when it comes to time management, creativity can be a little bit of a challenge in terms of scheduling. Hey, this might take more than an hour, and adhering to it. Another issue is learning. In general, I found, just like with YouTube, I do a lot of work on it, and often I go there and say, hey, I want to do this. Well, no offense to Google or YouTube, but I find everything that they do is very difficult. There's no comparisons, there's no demonstrations, there's a lot of words that are never defined, and I find myself having to do a trial and error basis in order to learn what's going to work and not work. Inevitably, it takes me a very long period of time, which makes it difficult for me to schedule how long it's going to take and adhere to it. There's learning, there's creativity, and then there's ambiguity. Ambiguity is when you're going to something and you're not really clear. Kind of like as I described in the two previous examples. I wasn't really sure what the example would be for my Sequoia, and I'm not really sure exactly how things are going to be on YouTube. When something's really not clear, you're not really clear on how long it's going to take you to get clear. Again, as you begin to sit down and take a look at scheduling and adhering to those schedules, when you have a task to look at, it's helpful to pause and say, is creativity involved? Is learning involved? And is ambiguity here? Because if they are, you can actually identify and say, this is a little bit more challenging to schedule the time and adhere to it than I might think, and manage that accordingly. I also am sharing this video because there's a lot of people out there that are creatives, or people in learning environments, or people having to do things for the first time. If you are, you'll notice these things are at the epicenter of what your challenges are to managing time, because by definition, you can't define them. So if you put that in that context, quit beating yourself up a little bit, begin to focus in on that, and begin to manage it, realize that it's difficult to adhere to time because you can't predict it. I hope you've learned something from this video. I hope you've gained some insight. The key for these tips really is people focus on schedule time, but there are some things that are just a little bit challenging. The more you observe them and identify them, the better position you are to actually manage them in a way that makes some sense. Hope you found this video insightful. For more great tips, subscribe to our channel, Attention Talk Video, at the button right below. Also, if you want to learn more about me, go to digcoaching.com. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care.